The N.O. Sense Abroad by Mark Twain. Chapter 2, Part 2. During that memorable month I basked in the happiness of being for once in my life drifting with the tide of a great popular movement. Everybody was going to Europe. I, too, was going to Europe. Everybody was going to the famous Paris Exposition. I, too, was going to the Paris Exposition. The steamship lines were carrying Americans out of the various ports of the country at the rate of 4,000 or 5,000 a week in the aggregate. If I met a dozen individuals during that month who were not going to Europe shortly, I have no distinct remembrance of it now. I walked about the city a good deal with a young Mr. Blucker, who spoke for the excursion. He was confiding, good-natured, and sophisticated, companionable, but he was not a man to set the river on fire. He had the most extraordinary notions about this European exodus, and came at last to consider the whole nation as packing up for migration to France. We stepped into a store on Broadway one day, where he bought a handkerchief, and when the man could not make a change, Mr. B. said, "Never mind, I'll hand it to you in Paris." "But I am not going to Paris." What did I understand you to say?" "I said I am not going to Paris, not going to Paris, not G." "Well, then, where in the nation are ya going to?" "Nowhere at all. Not anywhere whatsoever. Not any place on earth but this. Not any place at all, but just this day here all summer." My comrade took his purchase and walked out of the store. Without a word walked out, with an injured look upon his countenance. Up the street a piece he broke silence, and said impressively, "It was a lie, that is me opinion of it." In the fullness of time, the ship was ready to receive her passengers. I was introduced to the young gentleman who was to be my roommate, and found him to be intelligent, cheerful of spirit, and selfish, full of generous impulses, patient, considerate, and wonderfully good-natured. Not any passenger that sailed in the Quaker City will withhold his endorsement of what I have just said. And a long, sumptuous locution locker, which was to do service as a sofa partly and partly as a hiding place for our things, notwithstanding all this furniture. There was still room to turn around in, but not to swing a cat in, at least with entire security to the cat. However, the room was large, for a ship's stateroom, and was in every way satisfactory.